a spectacular Sunday in Pittsburgh, a series finale as the Reds try to withdraw a win in their final action at PNC Park against the Pirates. And a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Reds Baseball. John Sadak and our closer, the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley. And Cowboy, the Reds are trying to make it 3 straight series wins. And today, they're looking to Hunter Greene to set the tone.
Yeah, I thought Hunter took a pretty big step in his last time out. He's going up against a Brewer club that had hit 5 home runs off of him in the previous start. Now, you're talking about a kid that's just stepping into the big leagues. I realize that he has that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but it was not the fastball that played big in that ball game the second time around against the Brewers. It was this breaking ball. Not every breaking ball was a perfect pitch, but what it did, it was allowed him to throw his fastball when he needed to. It got the Brewers off the fastball, and once he did that, it seemed like things began to cruise a little bit.
And the Reds have rarely cruised in the last couple of years, thrown a loop by lefties when they see southpaws, and today it's Jose Quintana.
Yeah, Quintana pitches a little different than a lot. He's a very crafty lefty. He's going to throw a lot of breaking balls, backdoor to these righties. Anything that you seem to be looking for, it seems like he's going to throw you something different. He's always changing speeds. It really pitches backwards. Let's just put it that way. Breaking balls early, fastballs late. The fastball is never precise. Sometimes it's in, sometimes it's out. Not always where the catcher's setting up. So he's not very predictable, and that in itself makes him difficult to hit.
And David Bell has perhaps his most unique lineup of the year for a variety of reasons, including the absence of Tyler Stevenson. What's the latest on the Reds' primary catcher who left after that foul ball off his mask last night? We have good news from the great Jim Day.
So how brought to you by Chevy. Check out our award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili, feeling good. It's Skyline time. Reds looking to take 3 out of 4 from Pittsburgh. They'll do so without Tyler Stevenson in the lineup, at least initially. And for a guy that has 3 previous concussions, when last night's incident occurred, well, you have to take precautions. Within 6 months of a concussion, that's the most dangerous time. But he took one off the mask, left the game immediately. Now, he later returned to the dugout after passing tests. After the game, manager David Bell said that they didn't believe he had a concussion, but it would come down to the exam today. He had that exam this morning, fully cleared, no concussion. He is available to play today, and that is very, very good news. We will talk more about Stevenson during the game. Let's go upstairs to the gentleman that'll call it, John Sadak and the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley.
Well, thank you, Jim, and delighted to hear the news that Tyler Stevenson is in the clear, and we should see him again starting in the very near future. That will not be the case today. The full 9 for the Reds brought to you by Rally House. Today, David Bell has a few tweaks, including Matt Reynolds, who has 1 career at bat in the first position in the big leagues. First time he leads off for the Reds at shortstop. Brandon Drury at third base. Tommy Pham at left. Mike Moustakas has been killing it on this series against the Pirates. He's the DH. Albert Almora Jr. has only hit 8th or 9th as a Red. He's elevated up into the 5th position. Tyler Naquin has been hot. He's in right. Aramis Garcia, the catcher. He had a hit off the bench yesterday. Alejo Lopez, the switch hitting dynamic. And Colin Moran hits 9th for just the 3rd time as a Red, in part because of a lefty on the hill. It is Jose Quintana, who today reaches 10 years of service time, a major milestone for a Major League Baseball player. His numbers from Western and Southern.
Yes, it is, John. You get 10 years in the big leagues. That's saying something, not only for your at least work experience and getting out there, but just longevity. And this guy, he understands how to pitch. He threw the ball awfully well against the Dodgers his last time out. 2 hits, did not allow a run against that Dodger lineup, but he walked 4 batters. And that's the one thing you have to take into consideration when you're facing Quintana. He is not going to always be over the plate. It may appear that the pitch is over the plate, but yet it will end up off the plate. You have to be very selective.
He has one of the lowest strike percentage counts in the game, and that's in almost every type of scenario. Here's the full breakdown of what he throws, subject of our StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
He will cut that fastball a lot, especially this day and age in the extended part of his career. He'll sink it a little bit, but more than anything, he's going to throw that breaking ball when he gets behind in the count, and he'll throw the changeup right off that same tunnel.
And we showed you the W he had against the Dodgers on Monday. That was the first win for a Pirates starting pitcher. Set a new all-time record. It was their 28th game. Matt Reynolds leads off, and he grounds the first pitch to short. Rodolfo Castro has it, and quickly one down. Pirates defense from your local Ford dealers. Ben Gamble in left, Jack Sawinski in right. Brian Reynolds, after a day off, returns. He has not been charged with an error since June 18th of 21. Sutsugo Van Meter right side. Castro Hayes, who's second in the game in B-WAR, baseball reference WAR for defense, trailing only the Cardinals' Tommy Edman. Michael Perez is the catcher. Reynolds has strong range, but he has been struggling at the plate. Bunt shown, and strike one delivered to Drury. That OPS just under 890, top 10 in the National League. That's on base plus slugging. So he's getting on a lot and he's doing damage. And last night we saw Zach Thompson continuously work the very fringes of the zone with delectable pitches that were nearly unhittable.
A lot of cutters slash sliders that were going straight down rather than across the plate, and the Reds just had not only a tremendous amount of difficulty yesterday making contact with that pitch, they had difficulty in the ball game in Cincinnati with the same issue.
One, two. Strike three, dotted on the inside blank.
That is the perfect execution of pitching backwards. Slow away, tease off the outside corner, get the hitter to look out there, and then you dot the inside edge.
Just 5 pitches in, ready for his 6th. A fire to Tommy Pham. At the knees, strike. A 1. Quintana, in getting the win, helped the Pirates snap a record that was set by the 1988 Baltimore Orioles when they began their season 0-21. They broke it by a week in terms of games without a starter getting a win. Slap to center, routine for Reynolds. Quintana coolly efficient, and the Reds crisply in order. By Derek Shelton, brought to you by Rally House. Ben Gamble back at his more natural leadoff spot. Had a try in the 3-hole yesterday. Key Brian Hayes. Brian Reynolds, after his first day off since April 26th. He's been mired in a funk, particularly with men in scoring position. Daniel Vogelback, the DH. Yoshi Shutsugo at first base. Old friend Josh Van Meter has splashed one into the river. That was in a Reds uniform in this ballpark. Jack Sawinski at right. Rodolfo Castro at short. Michael Perez, the backup backstop, gets the start on Sunday. And the Reds turn to rookie Hunter Greene, his numbers from Western and Southern.
Stay out of the middle. Don't be predictable. Sounds simple. Still have to execute.
He begins by facing arguably the Pirates' hottest hitter. Ball 1 to Ben Gamble. Opposite way foul. Gamble hitting .391 since the calendar flipped to May. He had a dismal April, but he's delivered pop as well. His OPS is nearly 1,100 this month. That's what you want?
Oh yeah. You go back to that first pitch that ran off the plate away. Watch where this pitch starts. It starts away and drops right back on the outside corner. A nice slider. That's a strike. If you're going to give that pitch to Quintana at the bottom of the zone where the ball is underneath the zone and the very top of the ball catches the bottom part, you've got to give that to Hunter as well at the top of the zone. Problem is the ball that's down, the umpire is looking over. It's almost like a, I don't want to say a guess, but he doesn't see it as well as that fastball that's coming right at his mask because he's setting right over the top of the catcher right inside.
Greene wanted that one back. Payoff. Blew it by him. Rising 99 away.
Good movement on this fastball. It does catch the very top of the outside corner. Even though Garcia was setting inside, that's the benefit of throwing the ball 100 miles an hour. As long as you stay out of the middle, you got a pretty good shot.
Key Bryant Hayes. Oh, and he gets that a strike.
We'll take it. No hitter in America is going to like that ball.
Well, Greene's fastball gets a lot of well-earned documented love. His slider was the pitch that dominated and resonated in his rebound outing against the Brewers. Opposite way. Foul ball, but you like his changeup.
I do like his changeup. I don't see it enough, but it's a difficult pitch. That's a difficult pitch to throw for a power pitcher, because in the back of your mind, no matter what kind of verbiage that you use, in the back of your mind, you're thinking to yourself, I throw 100. Why would I want to throw a pitch 80? It almost feels like a give up. So it becomes more of a mental issue rather than a physical execution issue. A slider is the kind of a pitch that it's known as a strikeout pitch. It's known as a two-strike pitch. A changeup is a pitch that traditionally has been thrown at 2-0, 3-1, 3-2. Well, not really 3-2, but 1-0. A pitch that's behind in the count just to buy a strike. It's not known as an aggressive pitch, but you have to throw it aggressively if you would like to be able to use it.
That's 100 up and coming in, and he's able to fight it off.
Well, let's make no mistake about all of the critiques that we give to Hunter Greene. This kid is going to be awfully good and may very well be the next Dwight Gooden. He's got that kind of stuff. But where we miss the boat a lot of times with these young kids is this guy's 22 years old. I mean, not been pitching that long, and he missed a lot of time, 2 years really, with Tommy John surgery. So learning all of the aspects of adjustments at a big league level and trying to kind of manipulate those breaking ball and changeup type pitches, much less the location of the fastball under major league pressure, that is no easy task. It's tough enough for a guy that's been around for 10 years.
Payoff here. Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks for Hunter Greene.
I think what we have to enjoy when we're watching Hunter Greene is to watch the maturation process as he comes through his career and take those small adjustments, like that breaking ball there. He got to the side of it a little bit extra so he could really get some sweep to it, but he starts it middle in. It looks like the fastball up until the last 4 or 5 feet as the ball gets to the plate. Those small adjustments and the things that we see from game to game, I think that's the part that we have to learn to appreciate, because it's what's going to make him better.
Ball 1 to Brian Reynolds, who sat yesterday, his first off day since April 26th. There you see the numbers that are wanting for a man who was wanted by many teams through trade. Hit over 300, played a stellar center field last year, and as the biggest anticipated bat for the Pirates, he has underperformed.
Well, I think when you're the Lone Ranger and you're the one guy on your team that everyone expects to get the job done, look, you got arrows and bullets coming at you from all over the place. Every pitcher, when you step to the plate, they hype their game. They go from 93 to 97. That slider's got a lot more snap to it. They're not just trying to throw the get me over fastball to you because they know you can hurt them. So you get pitched different, and all of a sudden your team is losing. You're the one guy that everybody else in baseball wanted. Well, why aren't you hitting? It's a whole different kind of element for a guy like Brian Reynolds when you're the only guy in the lineup that everybody's looking at. I mean, I know that Votto went through that for years in the Reds lineup. I mean, when teams came in, that was the scouting report. Pitch to everybody else, don't let Votto hurt you.
Greene showing tremendous life.
That is what I would refer to as easy gas. Nice and easy. The ball comes out and it just gets on the hitter like right now.
Reynolds walks. Reds defense from your local Ford dealers. The outfield, Tommy Pham, Albert Almora Jr., Tyler Naquin, after time as the DH, returns to right. Brandon Drury, Matt Reynolds on the left side. No Kyle Farmer again today. Off day tomorrow for the team. Alejo Lopez, Colin Moran, and Aramis Garcia, who was thrust into action yesterday when Tyler Stevenson left on that deflected foul ball. Reynolds held on. They shift against Daniel Vogelbach. First pitch, shot to left. Pham picks up speed some, slows, and has the routine out. A couple of strikeouts for Greene in a scoreless first. Left is how the second will begin. Old foes from their days in the American League Central, when Jose Quintana came up with the White Sox, Mike Moustakas with the Kansas City Royals. Quintana has 17 Ks of Mike Moustakas, the most he's had against any one hitter. Now, Moustakas also has 3 homers against him, the most he's had, most of any left-handed hitter against Quintana.
Well, I'm sure Moose would like to have a home run today and go ahead and get 200 out of the way. And nothing better than to get it off a guy that has struck you out 17 times.
To right field, Suwinski. Now, we told you about how Quintana etched the first W for a Pirates starting pitcher and ended the longest drought in Major League history. For him personally, that was his first win since September of 2019. He went almost 1,000 days between Major League wins. In the shortened 2020 season, he only made 4 appearances, and he called 2021 his worst year in the show. He was mostly in the bullpen. It did not go well. To center field, Reynolds coming on contact, still has to play it on a bounce. Albert Almora Jr. hits in back-to-back days.
Well, if you watch Quintana, every once in a while, as he drops that back step, you see this single into center field. But Quintana, he will alter the way that he comes to the plate. He will hesitate an extra count, maybe a third count. He doesn't do the Johnny Cueto spin and all of that kind of stuff, but he'll step back, and it's mostly out of the windup. He'll step back and he'll rock on that left foot, sometimes once, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times, to try to throw off the timing of the hitter. He tried to do that to Almora on the first pitch. The second pitch, Almora slaps it into center field.
Once, twice, 3 times a lefty. Pops a strike to Tyler Naquin, who has cranked out 10 doubles this year. That's top 5 in the National League. Reds last night did not get a base hit until Brandon Drury singled in the 6th inning. Opposite way, Hayes on the fly, fire to first, double play. Sometimes fortune favors the foe. Hunter Greene, the subject of our storyline, presented by Elk & Elk. His pitch usage, first 3, last 3.
And I don't know that he has to be 50-50 fastball slider, and I don't think that he will be as he progresses in his career. I think right now he's just kind of fighting to survive out there. He's trying to figure it out, and that's the best part of Hunter Greene, I think, that you can say right now. It's not the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I get that. It's the fact that this kid competes. He's not giving up. I mean, he showed me so much coming back out there against the Brewers and pitching the way that he did after just getting shellacked. There are few, if any, rookies that can handle that kind of pressure and go out and just, okay, well, I'm going to figure out some other way to get him out. That's a tough call, and he made it happen.
Misses low to Yoshi Tsutsugo. Yeah, his merited and needed self-belief is quite evident. Anytime you talk to him, anytime you watch him pitch. Lifted, shallow center. Almora coming on hard. Man, he gets really good reads.
Some ground. He really does. I think the thing for Hunter right now that, and I know that the Reds are working on this and trying to help him understand why. He's got to be dead set sold on, why am I throwing strike number 1? And am I looking for a miss on strike number 1, or am I trying to make a pitch that they take? And that's kind of that thought process that you go through, because pitch number 1, there were a lot of home runs that were hit in that Brewer ball game. They were sitting on his fastball, so it makes you a little hesitant. But if you're Hunter Greene and you have a 100-mile-an-hour heater with a slider to go with it, pitch number 1, that puts you on NASCAR, baby. You are in the driver's seat. See that pitch right there? That's the changeup. That pitch right there has gotten the attention of Josh Van Meter right now, and he won't forget about it for the rest of the ball game. I mean, that looks just like a fastball, and you can see Van Meter looking down there as if to say, what the heck was that? That wasn't on the report. See, that's the pitch sequencing that as Hunter goes along, that very next pitch will be a strike at 100 miles an hour all day, every day, because you can't decipher between 90 and 100 on back-to-back pitches. It's too tough.
And that's part of his constant maturation. You know, you and I spoke some at break. Part of what's going to happen as he continues to refine both feel and execution, you're going to see some higher pitch counts. But if he's getting outs and he's learning how to sequence, and as you echoed, right at the start when we spoke with BG and Sam on the pregame, to hit location.
Well, what you begin to learn is even the greatest of great hitters can't hit both sides of the plate on any given pitch. They pretty much have to pick a side.
Left field, Pham. Back-to-back fly ball outs.
But there's also a feel and a bit of being comfortable that goes with all of this. I mean, Hunter, he's just getting to know some of his teammates, much less trying to figure out, okay, who are these opposing hitters and what do they like? What do they swing at? I want to be able to see them in person.
Ball one to Jack Sawinski. But the talent is obvious, the competitiveness constant. And his growth, it's still in its infancy.
He's made a couple of really, and I mean really good, backdoor breaking balls to these lefties. Sharp, quick, late, and on point right at the bottom of the zone. It's a strike whether you swing or not. There it is again.
He gets that ball back. He is ready to go. Two. Swing and a miss, struck him out. See his sliders down and in. 3 Ks for Greene. A perfect second.
All tests, he was cleared, did not suffer a concussion last night, but he knows that during this time at the position he plays, they have to be careful going forward.
This season will be important because I think it says like within the first 6 months when you've had one, those are the times where you do have to be careful. But we do have some mask and some stuff coming that we've been talking with Evo Shield and just concussion stuff. So we're trying obviously everything we can to prevent something to happen later on, especially from a foul tip or whatever it is.
Earlier this season, he suffered his 3rd concussion, and there's a lot of studies that have gone into the traditional mask, the hockey goalie style mask. Some of the traditional masks have springs on them. The company that he gets his mask from does not have the springs, I learned today. But they will do a lot of studies on which mask is going to be best for him going forward, because the Reds want him to stay at catcher for now. There's going to be no moving to another position because of the concussions. They obviously will keep their close eye on it, but look for him to experiment with different mask and padding going forward.
Thank you, Jim. Garcia fighting off foul balls. I know, Jim, we were talking to you. You were up here with me at Cowboy and asked you about your football days. You were a quarterback, went to college to play QB. There are segments of games you can't remember.
Yeah, in high school, I got hit pretty hard. And back then it was just, you got your bell rung, you saw some stars, get back in there. They wouldn't do that nowadays. But, yeah, it's a scary thing. Luckily, and we'll knock on wood here, knocking on my head, I do not have any lingering effects from those. So I'm on the lucky side, at least for now, on that regard. But it's very scary, and it's something that thankfully all sports have recognized, and there's no messing around with head injuries. They're very serious about it, and there's much more information and much better medical procedures involved, and it should be.
Garcia opposite way. Van Meter at second. Now that's where the smile from Stevenson, Cowboy, for me. When we saw him back in the dugout last night, I felt such a sense of relief seeing him back there with his teammates.
Well, all of us, when we're in the midst of competition, especially when we're 23, 24 years old and we're in the big leagues, we're in the moment. This is what we've worked for our entire career. You are full bore. If you can walk out on the field on your own, you're coming to play. But it's the responsibility of those of us that have been in the game and we're now out and we know the toll that it takes on you 30 years down the road. It's our responsibility to make sure that that kid's okay right now and 30 years from now.
Well, Stevenson watches today. The Reds off tomorrow. Start a new series with Cleveland in a couple of days. Alejo Lopez swings through.
Look, Tyler Stevenson is the kind of player that every single general manager, coach, teammate, he's the kind of guy you beg to have on your club. He's the kind of guy that you draft and you hope that, okay, this is what I want the player to turn out as. That's Tyler Stevenson. He's a good kid. He's a good teammate. He's always ready to play. He's always out there. Very coachable, works hard, hits the ball like a son of a gun. So why shouldn't we as a Reds organization make sure we protect that guy with everything we've got? Because he's going to give you everything he's got. And I'm not saying that the Reds aren't. I'm just making that point. That's what you have to do as an organization when you've got a player like that.
And that sense of responsibility. And Lopez, a talented hitter, excellent bat control, but hasn't played a lot, and that's a slippery slope in its own, kind of chicken and egg. How do you hit if you're not playing? But it's only his second game action in 10 days.
Well, the way that you get opportunities to hit off the bench in the game that we play today is to be able to have the chance to hit the ball out of the ballpark when you come in to pinch hit late. If you're just a guy that's just going to get a base hit, more times than not, the manager bypasses you and goes to the next guy down the line. And I mean, that's just the way it works. It's not just the Reds club, it's all throughout baseball.
Lopez to center. Reynolds secures out number 2. One wrinkle that I learned after Zach Thompson was so excellent last night. When he faced the Reds on Mother's Day and was excellent the first time around, he could apparently barely stand at the end of the game. He had to get an IV as soon as he came out of that contest. And as most days.
You're talking about Zach Thompson?
Yes. A bunt shown there by Moran. And we're starting to get into some of the warmer weather now. Today, when we first came up here, you could feel it right in the face when you entered the booth.
I'm just ready for the pollen to stop, big boy.
I hear you. I told you
I've coughed enough.
1-1. Every time I've gone to the allergist, the only thing that comes up is the control. They say you're not allergic to anything, and every year as the pollen count soars, if I'm out and about at a walk near any form of flora, I'll be in a sneezing fit fairly shortly. You sound good, though.
I feel better. It just seemed, because you brought up the heat, it just seems as though the hotter that it gets, it feels more normal.
Feels like home?
Feels like home. 100 and 100. 100 degrees and 100% humidity.
I think my natural environment is enclosed air conditioning.
Well, in the South, you just take a shower to go sweat. That's just kind of the way it is.
And by the way, to pull the curtain back a bit, if you go next door to where Cowboy often resides in the radio booth here, totally different experience.
Oh, yeah. You can hang meat in there right now.
Tommy Thrall is chattering currently. And Moran goes down swinging. Well, Quintana's second K, first time through, he has faced the minimum.
On his game so far this afternoon, and it started early. That breaking ball was darting right to left. Fastball location right on the money. Look at that pitch, 99 right on the black. How about these two sliders? I'll show you one for a strike, and then I'll show you another one down and in, and you swing right over the top of it.
Well, Greene has been sharp, facing Rodolfo Castro.
Here's the two breaking balls, the one for a strike. And how about this one down and in? Yeah.
Right center. Naquin.
I think part of that entire video package is that Greene is known for throwing at the very top of the zone, and he's done that today. But what he's done different today is he's been able to locate his fastball at the bottom of the zone, down and away from these left-handers, so they've had to look out there a little bit. So when he's thrown the breaking ball and it's started to come back, they've had to stop. Then they realize, well, he's throwing it for a strike, so they feel like, okay, I've got to swing now. And at that point, he bites that baby down and in, and they're in trouble.
And to your point, based on handedness, there is only one right-handed hitter in the Pirates lineup. That is Key Brian Hayes. 6 lefties and 2 switch hitters against Greene. Well hit to center, but Almora read it beautifully. He is so fluid. His body control, how he can lock eyes on the ball, and it's almost like he's dancing out there in pursuit of the ball in flight.
Well, I think part of it is expectation to make a great play. You see the ball off the bat, you get in a position and you kind of read it from the pitcher towards the hitter. You don't wait for the swing, and you're anticipating having to make a difficult play. Guys, and for me, Almora has always been able to cover a tremendous amount of ground in center field.
Ball one to Ben Gamble, who worked a full count and struck out swinging at the game start.
That is some kind of fun pitch right there. You're looking for 99. That pitch starts off the plate, and immediately as a hitter you say, okay, that's a ball. No, it's not. And it comes right back to the plate.
And he seems to have such feel for that today.
Well, he goes backdoor slider and comes right back with a changeup. The changeup is a little bit off the outside edge, but you still get a commitment from Gamble because where the slider started. So you've created some expansion of the outside corner.
Now, when he has set up hitters like this, he's tried to elevate that fastball.
But you can go two places now. You can either go back up at the top of the zone where the catcher's mask is, or there's a slider down and in. There it is.
And that's where he's had multiple strikeouts today. He's got 4 Ks. He's retired 7 in a row. The Allegheny in a tiki hut.
You know, they've got the American flag on there. I guess they're doing the national anthem when we do, right before everything begins. Go ahead and get that national anthem in before you start drinking.
Get yourself a pina colada.
Ease on down the river.
No score here at PNC Park. Top of the order for the Reds. Pitching has been paramount on each side. Matt Reynolds on one pitch bounced to short his first time. Tap to third, foul ball.
Well, that was very fortunate for the Pirates because Ke'Bryan Hayes actually made a mistake there. He caught the ball and turned and looked at the umpire. That's not what you do. If there's a question at all, you make the play to first base and let him call foul ball later. You don't catch the ball and turn around and look at the umpire ever.
Reynolds, who had flown down the line, takes a moment. A couple of practice cuts. Hayes has been excellent defensively in terms of his range by most of the modern metrics. He does have more errors at third base than he did all of last year. One, two. Tap to second. Reds have had a hard time squaring Quintana. At each and every home game at Great American Ballpark, if a Reds player hits a home run that hits the Toyota hit and win sign, one lucky fan will win a new Toyota Tundra. Visit your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers today. Register to win. Brandon Drury sees Yoshi Shutsugo, the first baseman, playing way off the line, both heels on the infield grass. You see Van Meter, the second baseman, and Castro at short are both in the outfield grass. Weakly rolled to short. Shutsugo finds the bag. 2 down.
I was talking earlier with you about the bottom of the strike zone being a strike, and for a pitcher like Quintana that has been around a while, when you know you're going to get that strike call at the very, very bottom of the strike zone, you can exploit that a bit, not only with the breaking ball down, but most importantly with the changeup down, as we saw there with Drury. You can start that changeup right at the bottom of the zone. Hitter has to be able to swing at it, otherwise he thinks it's going to be a called strike, and then you end up making contact and it's another 3 or 4 inches underneath the zone. Tough to do anything with that.
Ooh. There goes the bat.
Grab some pine tar. I love that.
Tommy Pham does just about everything hard. He plays defense hard. He runs the bases hard. He swings hard.
He plays baseball like a football player. And I like that.
Well hit to left. Red's second hit of the day.
This is a bullet. It's one of those balls that you don't get the bottom of it, you don't get the top, you get all of it. You just happen to hit it flat and square.
Pham draws a throw. Well, how hard it has been to square Quintana, you can see in the exit velos for the Reds. The Almora hit in the second was less than 82 off the bat. Naquin into the double play was 60 off the bat. The Garcia ground out 66. The Lopez fly 83. They have not squared him, and they've more often topped the ball and hit weaker rollers on the infield.
Doesn't throw the ball in the middle of the plate. Starts the ball in the middle of the plate, but the ball gets to the edges. He'll cut it in, he'll sink it away, drop that curve ball, and then the change off of it.
And that is lying past the shaded Van Meter.
And just as I say he doesn't throw any balls in the middle of the plate, he throws one right down Broadway. He's fortunate that Moustakas didn't waylay that into the seats. I mean, that is right there.
And now the Reds have 2 on, 2 out. Almora splashed a single to center in his first time up. That was 112 off the bat for Moustakas. He drilled it. And that's the first knock that Quintana has allowed against a left-handed hitter.
Well, you can rest assured anything that finds outfield grass, whether it be on the ground or in the air, Tommy Pham is going to come around third base like a freight train.
Well, there goes the ball bouncing off Perez. Both men move up, second and third. Predict something else good.
I didn't see that coming.
That's a wild pitch.
Patience, patience. If you were Albert Almora Jr. A base open, and Quintana will not give in.
Lefties had been 0 for 18 against Quintana before that firm single from Moustakas.
And Quintana knows that Tyler Naquin is sitting in the on-deck circle. He's a left-handed batter who hit into the double play. No chance that he's going to give in to Almora here.
Just clips on the very edge for strike one. Full count.
That's that bottom of the zone hook on the 3-1 pitch.
Grounded to Hayes. Reds strand 2 in scoring position. But they get a couple on and they square Quintana for the first time.
Player to be named later in that deal with Seattle. High A, 6 starts, 3.30 ERA. Andrew Abbott, we talked about his Double-A debut last night. 12 strikeouts, no runs. Graham Ashcraft, another guy at Triple-A, file away that name. 7 starts, 3-1 record, sub-2 ERA, 30 strikeouts. Talked to General Manager Nick Krall today. Last night's start, they believe, was the best of the season. And speaking of Triple-A Louisville, as Hunter Greene goes back to work, Mike Minor, his second rehab start today, reached his pitch limit, but 2 1/3, 3 hits, couple of runs, only 1 was earned, a walk and 4 strikeouts through 60 pitches. Look for him to make 1 more rehab start at least. Votto playing there as well as we speak.
No Dr. Strange jersey today, though.
He did wear Dr. Strange last night. The team did. Had 3 at-bats, walked twice, had an RBI single. He has walked in 2 at-bats today, also struck out today. But good at-bats, good reports.
There is pitching on the rise. Abbott had said that He was in line with pitching coach Rob Wooten at Double-A, but also told the Chattanoogan he was kind of mad to be taken out in the 6th inning. I mean, he gets it. He's not kicking and screaming. He's a competitor, and he loved that he was out there dominating. Bounce to short.
Nice play.
8 in a row retired by Hunter Greene.
Now the breaking ball from Hunter executed well, and he gets a fish from Brian Hayes. Just smothers it into the ground. He almost hit it too soft.
Brian Reynolds worked to walk his first time. You and I were speaking some earlier today, and you had asked if I saw a video of Votto last night. I had only seen the single. I saw that highlight on Twitter. But I'm curious for our viewers, what did you see in terms of his stance? Because there were some windows of time where he was a little in between with the Reds.
Yeah, I thought he was in his normal upright stance, what we've seen up here. I didn't think there was any waffling from, one stance to the other. But I think that when you've watched Votto like I have over the years, the reason that he's taking those walks is he's trying to see as many pitches as he can. That's how he gets better, because he's got to understand where the zone is in his own mind before he starts to be aggressive with the bat. He's got to be able to see the ball. That's part of his process. He does that in spring training. He does that when the season begins.
And by the way, we mentioned the Dr. Strange jersey, which looked pretty awesome. Our friends with the Louisville Bats are auctioning off those jerseys. All proceeds are benefiting the ALS Association. 3-1 here for Greene. Full count. Five strikeouts for Hunter Greene.
That's a little show me something right there. Fall behind 3-1. You get a high slider strike for a call, and you come back with this bad boy.
We were talking some at break, and if you could share with all of us your thoughts on how pure that slider has looked today.
Just to watch the improvement of Hunter Greene with the breaking ball, just going back to Double-A and Triple-A last year, and then seeing what we saw in spring training, and then you fast forward to those last 2 ball games against the Brewers and drop in today. Folks, it is not that easy, number one, to continue to change and to kind of move around your fingers on a slider to try to get it right. And then you can do it in the bullpen, and then you have to take that out to the mound with you. That confidence is so difficult to possess. I don't care what kind of machines we've got today. You've still got that mano-a-mano on the hill, and it's your pride on the line. And I tell you, you should be proud of this kid. I'm proud of him. Just watching the adjustments he's making.
Pump strike 2 on Vogelback. Just low. Vogelbach began the year 0 for 17 head-to-head against the Reds. But in the last couple of games, 3 for 4, home run, couple of walks. And he gets aboard with a free pass. And snaps 9 in a row retired by Greene, who's allowed only 2 base runners, both on 2-out walks.
Well, that's part of the knowledge of hitters at this level. There are other hitters like Vogelbach that he's going to take a called strike 3 on a breaking ball when he's behind in the count. If it's 3-1, 3-2, he's not going to swing at that pitch. So you have to be able to get it in the zone, because as soon as he sees spin, he stops.
Yoshi Tsutsugo, strike 1.
Well, we have seen several times today, and we've seen times where the ball is run up and away, but those fastballs that are in that bottom quadrant, very close to the bottom angle, basically at the catcher's left knee. That strike down there for Hunter Greene, that's pure cash. So's that one.
He pounds 100 in on his hands.
I mean, and that's following the sinking fastball that was right on the outside corner, and then you come a good 3 feet at the top of the zone up and in. You bend him over, you straighten him up. Now you slider him out.
Oh, 2. Just low.
Tried to.
Are we seeing a lot more movement on his fastball today?
I'm not going to say a lot more. This is a pretty good breaking ball right here. And that's where you want it. That's not a pitch. And when you're 0-2, that's not a pitch you're trying to center in the middle of the plate. You're trying to get a swing and a miss.
To right field.
Right off the end of the bat.
Hunter Greene has fired 4 scoreless innings. He's allowed 2 base runners on 2-out walks. .TV is 50% off for a limited time only. Stream out-of-market regular season games live or on demand, plus MLB Big Inning and selective pregame and postgame coverage. Visit MLB.tv for details.
You asked me before we went to break, do I see more movement on the fastball of Hunter Greene? I think I see the proper movement. I guess that's the best way to say it. I think for Hunter, if he's got a lot of movement, especially if it's east and west, which is from the hitter going into a righty or away from a lefty, it hurts him. Because I think when you throw that hard, all you want is a little bit of movement, and you want it late. And that's what we're seeing today. Whatever he's got on this afternoon is what he needs to take forward from here on out.
Quintana's 0-1. Down and away to Naquin.
Because what Hunter's doing today, he can take the exact stuff that he has today and take it up against any offense in the big leagues and shove it right down their throat. Here's what I've got. Let me see what you got. Because his stuff today is awfully good, and his location has been way better than any other point that I've seen him ever pitch. Now, I didn't get to see him in the minor leagues, but I saw spring training, and I've seen him up here in the big leagues. Today, he's been on point.
After such a rebound outing against a very strong Brewer lineup, perhaps another step here in Pittsburgh. And Jim Day, due to their shared debuts this year, Greene and Nick Lodolo, who have such a kindred friendship about themselves, kind of have their tails intertwined. What's the latest on Lodolo, and how does he play in here in Pittsburgh?
Lodolo has been throwing at different distances, and each day has increased the differences, progressing slower than they would like. As you look at Hunter, Lodolo is in front of him standing against the rail, but Lodolo has a connection to Pittsburgh in that he was originally drafted by the Pirates out of high school, one of those supplemental picks. Now, the Pirates never reached the financial number that he was looking for him to not go to college. They invited him to throw out a first pitch here after he was drafted, and he turned them down because he heard how beautiful this place was, and he was fearful that if he came here that he would change his mind and sign and not go to college. As it turns out, he's very glad he got the college experience and is glad where he landed, and those two are at times inseparable as rookies, which is good to see because they're both going to be foundations of what the Reds are trying to do here going forward.
There are such talented, critical players, in particular at pitching, that these two young men that are here now and others that are on the rise, some knocking at the door as it stands. Jim had mentioned Nick Kroll felt Graham Ashcraft coming off his best outing so far at AAA. Got to see a catching the game today. And it's a shame because Lodolo looked like he was starting to turn that corner.
I agree. But for a big tall guy that is having back issues, you just have to let that kind of play out and try to get rid of it and come back when it's time to come back.
And because there assuredly is going to be some kind of innings threshold, right, that ideally if they're both playing well, pitching well, they're going to hit at some point. Maybe it can almost be a good thing to spread the wealth a little bit as Greene continues to fire and roll currently, and maybe Lodolo can see his year by calendar lengthened a little bit.
Well, the best way to be able to make the perfect adjustments are being able to throw on time, not sporadically. And I think if you can get some starts from Lodolo that are in bunches, I think you can live with that.
Oh, nice barehand by J.R. House coaching at third.
I mean, I think you have more innings to play with on Hunter Greene's side than you do on Nick Lodolo's side, simply by the numbers that you see in their minor leagues last year. And I think sooner or later, Graham Ashcraft is going to play a part in this because he's going to come to the big leagues.
Garcia is really fighting off pitches here against Quintana.
But you can only hold a guy down so long with a 1.65 ERA in AAA and your team's in last place. I mean, let's be honest.
Yep.
I don't care who you have in your starting rotation.
Quintana began the game very efficiently, but he's now closing in on a similar pitch count to Hunter Greene.
But I think you have a whole different perception of major league pitching in your second year, because you have a full off season to work on the things that you know that you need now to be able to do. You have a comfortability of playing in all of these big league stadiums. You understand who the hitters are. And most importantly, you understand that you belong. And with that being said, the names that we mentioned with Lodolo and Hunter Greene, that's a pretty good hook right there, by the way. Lodolo, you start talking about Graham Ashcraft getting some experience this year. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Andrew Abbott could get some experience up here at the big league level if, and that's a big if, because the kid started in A-ball, if he continues on the same type of trajectory that he is now, which is going to be very difficult to sustain.
Chop to second. Van Meter. Nicely done. Van Meter's off balance throw. Sensugo with that clean sweeping pick.
Can he get by the parrot?
For the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam.
2 minutes for holding.
The glory, the joy, the crushing defeat of the pierogi race.
That makes me laugh. Those things are funny looking.
They also come out to a very well done produced video with the Beastie Boys Sabotage in the background. Here is what Hunter Greene has done on the final pitch to finish hitters today.
Well, it just tells you that he's using his entire arsenal. It's not all sliders. It's not all fastballs. And he's mixed in some changeups here in the early going as well. But that pitch right there, that backdoor breaking ball, has been some kind of money for Hunter Greene today.
You know he planned it. He's gotten Van Meter to fly to left. This time a skied ball to right. Nequin has it read.
And why that backdoor slider is so important is the hitter has to respect it, because that fastball there, the first fastball on the 0-1 count, if you don't get that pitch for a strike on the first pitch and you throw that fastball's in the seats. But because you have to wait that extra split second, it just might be another slider. You can't just totally gear up and cheat for the heater.
Strike one to Jack Sawinski.
Now, you notice here we're in the 5th inning. Hunter's been throwing that backdoor slider since the first batter that stepped in. How many left-handed hitters have gone out there and said, all right, I know he's going to throw me the backdoor slider on the first pitch, I'm going to slap it into left? Not one of them, because they don't want to hit that. It's an automatic strike. It's a get me ahead.
And you can feel the cresting rhythm for Greene. He's in the bottom third for a second time. As Greene continues to mature, I'm curious to read quotes from other hitters and what the experience is like to face him. And something that Barry Larkin speaks of often, that he wishes that they could easily take virtual reality setup and show pitchers how hard it is to face themselves.
Right.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 6 Ks for Greene.
We have seen that swing and miss for the left-handers on that slider down and in. But where that slider starts is the key. The slider is starting in the middle of the plate, and then it just disappears towards that back foot.
Rodolfo Castro. Strike 1.
But that thing that he's throwing right there, that backdoor slider, is what really sets up the strikeout slider down and in. You see that spin, you know it's a strike early. I've got to swing at it, and then it almost hits your back foot like that.
No matter what your stuff, mind games always in play.
Look, up here, it's all mental. Everybody's good. Everybody hit fourth and played shortstop and was the best pitcher on their team.
That is a career high tying 7 strikeouts. Hunter Greene has gone 6 for the first time. As a big Reds fan, be sure to sign them up for the Reds Heads Kids Club. The membership includes a Reds Heads backpack, a jersey, collectible trading pins, and an exclusive bobblehead. Plus, get free Reds tickets and access to members-only events, all for just $30.
Well, you know, John, like every single fan that watches Hunter Greene, especially on a day like today, you can't help but get excited, bro. You can't help it.
Jump the gun a little bit there.
It's all right. You can't help it. Look, I've been doing this for 35 years. I love watching this kind of performance, especially from a young guy. That maturity level, that's the part that you buy a ticket and come to watch. You're like going to see something new today.
Yeah, Greene has certainly delivered on that as Moran swings over top as that dives down from Quintana. When I watch Greene in an environment like that, the first word I want to say is stoic, but I don't think that fits him. He is constantly still working. You can almost feel the mental machinery and the observation that he is soaking up everything all the time.
Well, he is a student of the game, and he is getting a lot of information very quickly. And there is only so much that you can process. And you'll see him, he'll have to get up. He'll start to just kind of walk a little bit because the brain just gets on fire. And there's only so much adrenaline that you can handle sitting down. And that is part of the maturity process in between innings. You kind of figure out a way to try to drop that level a little bit, let your body relax, but then also be able to kick it right back into gear as soon as that third out is made, where it just shoots right back up into full metal jacket. You can see him standing. I mean, he's done that every inning.
Strike three. Brief message here from our friends at Rally House.
Play ball, Cincy. Shop the latest in red style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House has gear for every fan.
One of your many outstanding attributes, my friend, that I really enjoy when blessed with the chance to sit next to you. You see so much that is so subtle. In body language, chopper, difficult ranging play. Rodolfo Castro, infield has looked good for the Pirates.
Well, being a pitcher that was never a guy that could overmatch you with my slider, split, or fastball, I had to understand and really learn on the fly those little body language ticks of guys at the plate, things that they would do, how they would practice. I would come out and stand in my dugout and watch the other team take batting practice just to understand, okay, what are these guys working on? Because if the batting practice pitcher in early BP is throwing you nothing but breaking balls, well, guess what? You're not hitting breaking balls very well. Put that in the bank. And the hitter will always tell you what to throw next. They will tell you. If you learn and you pay attention enough and you watch enough video and you watch enough of those players, they will tell you what to throw next. And if you're always pitching one pitch ahead, you're going to be all right in this league.
The Reds are now third time through against Quintana. Has anything changed in Quintana?
He is just continuing to stay on the edges, and where Quintana becomes very difficult is he throws a cutter that really doesn't cut that much. It just turns the ball a little bit. It looks like it's going to cut, and then he'll throw a two-seamer right off that same vein, and they're two different pitches. They don't move a whole lot. It's the visual perception of the hitter at the plate, and they're still fastballs. They're still hard. And then you get so locked in on, okay, I've got to make sure I stay close, stay inside that, and then he drops that curveball on the outside corner.
And that one skips in the dirt. Drury, one of the Reds that does damage. The Reds have the game's 3 hits from Pham, Moustakas, and Almora. hammers that ball early. That is a loud foul that rattles off the front lip of the upper deck.
See how far that ball went?
All the way down to the K sign, curling in that corner just inside the pole.
What was that, like 1,000 off the bat?
That's certainly what it felt like.
Jeez.
And there's that breaking ball down. Couple of Ks in the inning, 5 on the game for Quintana. No score, Hunter Greene in a groove.
Well, he has been in some kind of groove, not just with that high velocity fastball. First pitch strike, breaking ball. You know he's going to throw the breaking ball for a strike. You have to swing, but did you really want to swing? It did not appear that Rodolfo Castro wanted to swing at that last pitch, but he felt compelled.
There's the matchup.
Well, it's been a day for pitching so far this afternoon.
Strike one on Michael Perez, who lined to center in his first at bat. Greene has retired 15 of 17. He's allowed a pair of 2-out walks. Appeal.
Well, you can see already as Hunter came out for this 6th inning, the adrenaline has started to kick back up. His pace has quickened a bit, and even though this is just one batter, it's not quite as fluid as we've seen earlier in the ball game.
And that was a pretty good looking borderline pitch. Ball 3.
I got to have that.
99 down. Leadoff man reaches on the walk.
The thing that you have to fight is what the game brings in its element. You realize as a pitcher, okay, the other guy's throwing a shutout. Well, I can't give up a run either, but I'm throwing the ball really good. So you take the mound with that presence to keep pushing hard, but you don't want to overlaunch. You don't want to get too far into your adrenaline. You still have to keep things fluid and make your pitches one at a time. You can't strike them out on the first pitch.
Perez held on. Drury on the grass at third. And a flick to first checks out Perez. Shows that bunt, he yanks it back, and there's the strike.
Now you see, because of all of the backdoor breaking balls that we've seen called a strike that have been right on the money, this pitch is actually off the plate, but because he's been so consistent out there from pitch number 1, he gets the benefit of the doubt here.
Oh, 0-2.
You throw strikes with your breaking ball, you get swings on the breaking ball. If you throw balls with your breaking ball and you're never around the plate, nobody's swinging at it. They're just going to eliminate it.
Oh, 2. Early turn. Now, Greene today has been similar to what he was last time against Milwaukee, about 50-50 slider to fastball.
Breaking ball has been much more efficient and much better as far as placement is concerned here in this ball game.
And that's probably the one wrinkle for Greene. He has set up a number of hitters to where if that fastball's in the zone,
it's strike 3.
One, two. Grounded right side. Brought in awkwardly by Lopez. No chance to turn 2. The batter runner Gamble retired. Perez up to second.
I don't know that you're going to turn 2 on that ball because of the speed of Gamble, but you definitely, if the ball is fielded cleanly, eliminate the guy at second base.
First time the Pirates have put a man beyond first. An aggressive 99 against Ke'Bryan Hayes. Oh, and 2.
At least a little bit of adrenaline rush here in this inning for Hunter has pushed him towards the plate a little quicker, so you're not seeing that short, quick slider down low. Ball's coming out of his hand just a little bit too early.
Fouled away.
And when the ball comes out of your hand a little bit too early, it feels the same to you, but the ball that last breaking ball started middle in and stayed middle away rather than starting middle away and getting to the outside corner and maybe a little bit off.
Hit sharply to short. Look back Perez. Reynolds makes the throw. Greene has his longest outing so far in the big leagues. Second out here in the 6th. So now Greene faces Bryan Reynolds, who has been aboard on a walk. He has struck out. The most daunting number for Reynolds, what he's done with men in scoring position. He is 1 for 25 as the reigning all-star everyday 3-hole hitter for the Pirates. Center field, Amora coming on, has it read, and Hunter Greene has gone 6 for the first time in the show. Baseball on Bally Sports Ohio is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Save the date for this year's Pink Party, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare, Wednesday, June 22nd, Great American Ballpark. Buy a ticket package that includes an exclusive T-shirt and pregame festivities. Plus, a portion of the proceeds from the package benefit the Karen Wellington Foundation. There were some breast cancer survivors part of ceremonies on the field before the game here today. First pitch, Tommy Pham, bouncer to short. 8 in a row retired by Jose Quintana. And Mike Moustakas, part of delivering the Reds' best chance. That's when he followed Pham's base hit with 2 outs in the 4th with a hit of his own. He scalded a single to right. A wild pitch advanced the pair. A ground out ended the inning. Reds trying to make it 3 straight series wins if they can take this finale. Way in. And we've seen Moustakas pitched in this series more than any set that I can think of this season.
Well, when you hit as many home runs as he's hit in this ballpark, last thing that the Pirates pitchers want is to allow him to get extended.
And after Quintana saw Moustakas hit the ball fiercely past the shifted Van Meter, far more careful this time around. There is a 4-pitch walk. Chris Stratton is up in the Pirates bullpen. Well, Derek Shelton is not happy. Long conversation with home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez, the crew chief. That's Quintana's first walk. Ball one to Almora, who is a single, and he's bounced to third. Well hit to left center. And caught. Moustakas went 2/3. That ball just hung, and Ben Gamel was able to take his time and get underneath.
Well, looked like it was hit rather well off the bat. Got out of the infield pretty good. It just kind of stopped.
Wound up being a little over 92 off the bat, not even quite hard hit. There haven't been many squared today. 3 total hits between the teams. Tyler Naquin has lined softly into a double play and bounced out to second. Ball one. Grounded to first. Tsutsugo hits the bag. Reds leave a man. We stretch. Having himself a day.
Well, he really has, John, and he has commanded both sides of the plate with both pitches. The fastball has had that hard riding movement to it, but that slider has just been devastating so far this afternoon. You throw it for a strike, they have to swing. And he has been on his game. The only issue that you face right now, John, is the pitch count, and he's approaching 100 pitches rather quickly. I have to believe that this is going to be his final inning, regardless of the circumstance.
He went 100 pitches last time out. First to Vogelback, misses low. Vogelback is flied out. He walked with 2 outs on a payoff in the 4th. Strike one. Greene has pitched into the 7th for the first time in the majors. He has tied his career high with 7 strikeouts. One and two. Three base runners he's allowed, all on walks. He has retired 18 of 21. Two. Yes, sir. Into the glove of Garcia. That is strike 3. Vogelback is not leaving the plate. He does not agree. That is a career high 8 strikeouts for Hunter Greene.
Not reviewable. Whether Vogelbach believes it or not, there is no challenge on that. That's up to the home plate umpire.
Yoshi Tsutsugo has flied out twice. Sends this ball to left center. Coming out hard, Tommy Pham changes angle. Almora crisscrosses and makes the catch. That is a great play and a near miss as they were coming at each other hard.
I think both of them were going to catch the ball. I think that right at the last second, Almora, because he's coming from center field, he could see Tommy Pham out of the corner of his eye and basically just cut inside of him. Otherwise, we have a major collision. Because Pham was calling for the ball. I get it. But who has priority every single time, whether it's the shortstop, second base, left, right? It's the man that's playing center field. Just the way it works.
And after Almora got tripped up, athletic trainer Tomas Vera and manager David Bell came up the steps, walked out to the chalk, and were ushered back before they even reached fair ground. There is ball one to Josh Van Meter.
You got a scoreless ball game, and both of those guys are going full bore after the baseball. Fortunately for the Reds, it was not a collision situation.
No, Greene north of 100 pitches. This is the most he has thrown by innings and pitchers and pitches in the majors. And the Reds, for what it's worth, have a silent bullpen right now, despite Greene reaching new heights in terms of his workload. Struck him out. Hunter Greene with 9 Ks, and he has a no-hitter through 7. Hunter Greene has been sensational today for the Reds. Derek Shelton ejected. Daniel Vogelbach and Josh Van Meter were not happy with balls and strikes calls in their respective strikeouts. And Shelton, with his team getting no-no'd, was vehemently emotional.
I think that's as much of trying to get his guys back in it as Chris Stratton takes the hill. I wasn't sure about the pitch that Vogelbach, whether it hit the bat or not, but that last breaking ball to Van Meter, that is a money pitch.
That is strike one on Garcia.
But it looked a little bit bad because Garcia had to shift from the inside corner to the outside corner. Instead of being down and in, it was a backdoor breaking ball. And when you move the mid across the plate like that, that's when you get some cat calls from the dugouts.
Up and in. So while Greene has been brilliant, the Reds still without a run. They did see Stratton last night. He struck out the first 2 that he faced, but got chased by a base hit from Tommy Pham. And that brought on the closer David Bednar, perhaps a little earlier than Derek Shelton would have planned. Garcia's had some long at bats today.
You talking behind the plate or at the plate?
As a hitter. Yeah, behind the plate, there were some early. And then Greene's efficiency, if anything, spiked and got better as the game's gone on. And for what it's worth, the Reds bullpen motionless as Greene has been so darn special. Up the middle, backhanded, one-footed, off balance. Nice play by Van Meter. Sunday, May 29th, another family Sunday presented by Klosterman Bakery, Great American Ballpark. Take advantage of special ticket offers. Enjoy carnival games in the fan zone. And thanks to Mike Castrucci Jeep, kids 12 and younger receive a Reds headband while supplies last. Alejo Lopez able to turn around at bat left side. 0-1. Strike two. The ejection for Derek Shelton, his first of the season, the 6th in his tenure managing the Pirates. To right center. That is down, base hit. Lopez turns. He'll challenge for second. Sawinski bobbled the ball. Lopez's helmet flies off as he goes into second standing. Hustles a double.
Tried to come in with a fastball and just left it over the plate a bit.
The Reds to this point 0 for 1 with men in scoring position. The former Pirate Colin Moran. Moran has struck out twice. A lot of breaking balls down from Quintana.
Yeah, I imagine Colin Moran is glad that Quintana is out of the ball game.
Just 2 pitches in, it seems like he's seeing it much better from Chris Stratton. He has been a run producer for the Reds. Filling in at first daily for nearly 2 weeks as Joey Votto is on the way back.
3 straight hooks, and the third finally catches the outside corner.
Third base coach J.R. House was able to barehand one foul ball, but hasn't had to judge the Pirate outfielders much today. Only have a chance here. 2-1. 3-1. The on deck man, Matt Reynolds, nowhere near the circle. He's on that foul grass, really close to the plate, trying to get a feel for Stratton. Down. Moran is on.
It almost felt like a bit of a pitch around. Put runners at first and second, knowing you got a right-handed batter coming to the plate. The only lefty that the Reds have on the bench would be T.J. Friedl.
Reynolds, of his 3 groundouts, they've all been to the middle infield. The 2 to short came on the first pitch.
Well, you don't want that right here.
And he takes a top tier strike.
Got to believe Stratton is going to try to make him put in play a breaking ball. That is his get out of the inning pitch. There it is.
Oh, 2. Just misses.
If Derek Shelton wasn't thrown out earlier, he'd have been thrown out right there.
Struck him out.
Well, once Stratton got ahead with that fastball, his breaking ball is his calling card, and he was force feeding it to Matt Reynolds.
Now 2 aboard for Brandon Drury. Couple of Ks. He's 0 for 3 today. With men in scoring position, entered hitting .438.
He did not start Drury with the fastball at the top of the zone. He started him with the breaking ball. There it is.
Brief message here from Miami Valley Gaming.
Shimmy on down and get ready to get lucky at Miami Valley Gaming.
Awesome.
One up and in. Well, thinking ahead with Derek Shelton ejected, bench coach Don Kelly is now making the decisions, and he has David Bednar in the initial stages of warming up in the bullpen. Frozen.
I don't think Drury will see another fastball. He will see hooks until he either gets out or he walks.
Drury asked for time. Drury high in the air to left. Gamble barely budges. Reds strand 2. On an historic day, Hunter Greene back to the mound for the 8th. Reds baseball on Bally Sports Ohio has been brought to you by Ford. Built Ford tough.
Really surprised the Reds don't have anybody up right now in their bullpen.
I mean, Hunter Greene's at 104 pitches.
Hey, there's nobody even throwing.
Ground ball to first. Yes, he has been outstanding. He has a chance at history here today. He also has had a significant arm injury and surgery. And a big spike in innings is hoped for. Plus the idea that if the Pirates even just get a guy on base, it's a scoreless game. Strike 1 to Rodolfo Castro, who's fly to right, and he's been among Greene's 9 strikeout victims.
Well, Castro's last time up, he saw 3 breaking balls and went right back to the dugout. And the last one that he swung at, I don't think he really wanted to.
Backed up on a fastball. Three and 1. The base runners that Greene's allowed, all on walks. 2 came with 2 outs. Reynolds in the first, Vogelbach in the 4th. He began the 6th with a walk of Michael Perez, who's on deck. And there is ball 4. So Castro is on.
Borderline slider. Gotten that call a couple of times here early. Most of the time he's gotten swings on that pitch. He does not get the benefit of the doubt here to begin the 8th.
Well, Derek Johnson out there for a talk. The Reds, of course, have tomorrow off, by the way, before they begin a series with Cleveland. Bullpen coach Lee Tunnell, as Art Warren is going to start to throw. And why not, right? Because in a best case scenario, Greene gets one pitch out, then gets a double play here. Maybe he stays in. You have an off day tomorrow. There are guys out there that could probably use a session to throw just to throw. Castro held on. Ball one. Perez has had two pretty good plate appearances tonight. He lined a ball to center in the third inning, and then he worked that walk to begin the sixth. Got up to second base. That was all. Gas tank getting affected here?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it. It's like I said when we started the inning, I thought somebody should have been up as he took the mound before the first hitter stepped to the plate.
The Pirates' best bats on deck and in the hole. Well hit down the right field line, foul. So David Bednar continues to throw intermittently. The outstanding Pirates closer, Art Warren, goes through his regular routine as he readies for Cincinnati. Entering today, Greene had not thrown more than 100 even pitches in an outing. This will be number 116. And he misses.
In the last couple of innings, he's just had a difficult time getting on top of that breaking ball. And that's nothing more than just fatigue.
Payoff. Down to the plate.
Better pitch there. Part of the benefit for Hunter early in the ball game, throwing that backdoor slider to lefties. In order to get the ball to stay there, you really have to get on top of it. Very similar to what we saw with Zach Thompson yesterday. So when you do come into lefties, when you're throwing it down and in, you're already on top of it because of the sequence of pitches that you've thrown earlier in the count.
Castro goes, and the pitch misses away. It's back-to-back walks, 5 on the outing now. And here comes David Bell. Well, Greene already had a visit from pitching coach Derek Johnson, and it seems like he has not only hit that wall, he's been at it, understandably, due to the workload for a bit of time. And so he's going to be done. And the road crowd, a mixture of applause, a smattering of boos. He leaves firing a no-hitter.
Now you get Pirates folks in their own stadium standing up and clapping for you as you come out. Pitched pretty well, and that he did.
Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. 2 on. And Greene done for the day. Made majors. Hunter Greene pitches into the 8th. He strikes out 9. He leaves a no-hitter after 118 pitches.
Well, he definitely had his fastball today, but what he had more importantly was command of that breaking ball. Not only to strike out down and in to some of these lefties, but getting ahead in the count right out of the chute. I mean, first batter up, first pitch backdoor breaking ball, and he stayed on that outside corner pretty much the entire ball game with that backdoor slider.
Hunter Greene, sensational today, but a scoreless contest, 2 on, and Art Warren misses up and away to Ben Gamble, who is a dangerous hitter.
Not sure that there's a whole lot more that you can do than what Hunter Greene did today for a 22-year-old right-hander making his 7th start in the big leagues.
And while Greene continues to make major strides, Warren, who's a dynamic talent, also knows the weight of these moments. Remember, it was Warren who was not on the active roster when Wade Miley threw a no-hitter in Cleveland. He had already left the ballpark, gone back to the hotel. His plan was to draw a bath after going through some workouts that day. And then in speaking with a significant other, he realized what was happening and said, I got to go. I got to go back to the stadium. And there is a 4-pitch walk to load the bases. Greene gave his all. All he and his teammates can do is watch as the Reds bring the infield partially in. Bases loaded, 1 out. Key Bryant Hayes 0 for 3 today. He entered top 5 in the National League in average and on base. Garcia recognizing Warren's command is so off, goes out to chat with him. The only other time that jumps to mind where I can remember Warren, particularly with his breaking ball, Colorado. That's it. And he said after that, he doubled down on his fastball that lives at 96, 97. I'm going to throw that for a strike. One-0. Wow, swung right out his cleats.
Thank you very much. You see where this breaking ball is? It's up above the catcher's mask. And that's what happens when you get over adrenaline and you start jumping to the plate. Your hand can't catch up.
Way in. Tony Santillan is furiously warming in the Reds bullpen. As Warren prepared for that pitch, Castro, the lead runner at third, took a few big stabbing tries with his cleat, trying to draw his attention. Ground ball. Lopez feed to second. Not in time. Castro scores. Pirates still without a hit, but the Reds face a deficit. It's 1-0.
Well, again, Alejo Lopez almost looked like he felt unsure about how to make that play. He was unsure whether he should come to the plate or turn 2, and it was almost as though as he was coming after the ball, he intended on coming to the plate, and then he heard 2-2-2, and at that point the ball stuck in his glove momentarily, and then you don't get but one out.
Perez able to go to third. No men at the corners, 2 down. Brian Reynolds. A walk, a strikeout, and a fly out to center today. Runner off from first. Pitch looped in the air left side. Reynolds brings it in. 3 walks and a forced fielder's choice. Pirates get a run without a knock. It's live, the post-game show brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. BG and Sam will have the breakdown. Hunter Greene's historic day, pitching into the 8th, not allowing a hit, and yet the 1 run is on his line. He left with a couple of men on the base. 1 came in on a forced fielder's choice. So the Reds on the wrong side of a 1-0 score. And now they'll be tasked with facing the Pirate closer, who is filthy, David Bednar. Bednar last night got a 4-out save. And he buckles the knees of Tommy Pham. Now, Bednar hasn't had abundant save tries for a lot of reasons. Pham pops it up. That'll be out of play, but he hasn't blown a save since July 31st. That was a game here at home against the Phillies when he was tagged with a run in 1 inning. Oh-2. Popped up. Sky high, Tsutsugo. Can the Reds bats lift up Hunter Greene and find a way to at least equalize things against Bednar?
Well, Moustakas was the one repeat batter here that saw Bednar last night. Flied to right. That's your lone advantage right here.
Shift on. Strike 1.
But for Bednar, the pitches that are down are normally breaking balls. If he's throwing a fastball, it's up around the letters and it's in the high 90s, and you've got to figure out a way to get on top of that.
Strike 2 with that curveball right at the knees on the outside edge. With the save last night, David Bednar matched the Mets' Edwin Diaz for the 2nd most saves in the National League this month. Only Taylor Rogers of the Padres has more. Roped to first, snow coned by Tsutsugo. David Bell's going to use a bullet and pull back Albert Almora and bring up the left-handed bat of a young man who was born in the greater Pittsburgh area, T.J. Friedel. Ball one. Friedel still has many family members and friends in the greater Pittsburgh area. And they have been here most of the series. That's a beautiful soft strike.
Starts off the plate, gets back to the corner. Hitters don't want to swing at that. Not for a first strike. It's kind of like, let's make a deal. They offer you that first box and you're kind of like, I think I'll wait. Well, you may get 96 on the black like you did on the second pitch there, but you might get a cookie on the next pitch.
If Friedel can reach Tyler Naquin, who's had a really good week, is the powerful left-handed bat on deck. Just missed.
Thank you very much. Since Derek Shelton got thrown out of the ball game, that inside corner has gotten awfully tight. On both sides, but awfully tight.
Payoff. Grounded right side. Van Meter from the outfield grass. On a dominant day delivered by Hunter Greene, the Reds pitching staff does not yield a hit, but falls by a skinny run and has to settle for a split on the series. About as bittersweet as they can come, 1-0.
Can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen that. You throw a no-hitter and lose. That's a tough pill to swallow. But a heck of a day for 100 Greene. And we talked about growth. Well, he came to the party today.
More to come. We'll be back in a bit. The final in Pittsburgh, the Pirates top the Reds 1-0.